What's up, you guys? Betty is here. So, Zare la YouTube demo yamettawlachu. There is a new topic. It's going to be really interesting. So, uska majarashaw dress might indatrasu. The other thing demo subscribe kalaragachu. Make sure to subscribe. And let's get started. So, yezare topic it's about could yemila word, okay? Could yemila word. We're going to see multiple use of could. በተለያየ መንገድ ስንጠቀመው እንዴት መጠቀም እንደምንችል we will see that. First thing could የሚለው ቃል ምንድነው ወይም ደግሞ what is it? Okay, as you guys know, it's an auxiliary verb. ወይም ደግሞ helping verb የምንለው ነው. Auxiliary verb. Okay, ሌላኛው ደግሞ meaning of could is like the past tense of can. Can የምንለው modal verb የሱ past tense እንደሆነ ታውቃላችሁ ያስባለኝ. So, how can we use could? In many different ways. So we're going to see that in detail. So just stay with me. Let's start with the first use of could, which is for polite request, right? So polite request ማለት ምንድነው? ለምሳሌ አንድን ሰው የሆነ ነገር እንዲሰጣችሁ ስትጠይቁ in a nice way ነው አይደለም የምትጠይቁት? So ለምሳሌ could you lend me some money, please? Okay, could you lend me some money, please? Okay, so one thing you should remember when you talk about polite request, make sure to add the word please so that you will sound more polite. So your ነገር መጠየቅ ስትፈልጉ in a polite way, you can use the auxiliary verb could. Let's see it in an example. So የመጀመሪያውን example, let me write it down for you guys. Okay. አሁን ቅድም የነገርኳችሁ ለምሳሌ could you lend me, let me make it like simple and let me just say pen. Could you lend me your pen? Okay, so what do I add here? Please. Could you lend me your pen, please? So that I can sound more polite. So በትህትና አንድ ነገር መጠየቅ ስትፈልጉ ወይም ደግሞ ለምሳሌ let's say you're at a restaurant ordering food. So ለምሳሌ ዌይተሩ መጥቶ የሆነ ነገር ምን ላምጣላችሁ ሲል could you get me salad, please? Could you give me this, please? So you're talking about polite request, okay? And nagar in a nice way, in a polite way, you can use the auxiliary verb could. So this is the main, like one of the uses for the word could. Let's see the other use of could. So the second use of could, I could play the piano when I was young, meaning something I was able to do in the past. So የድሮ ችሎታችንን ለማውራት ስንፈልግ which is ability in the past, okay? Ability in the past. So ድሮ የነበረንን ችሎታ መናገር ስንፈልግም we can use the auxiliary verb could. So ልክ እንደነገርኳችሁ ለምሳሌ I could swim for long hours, okay? Which means when I was young ለምሳሌ ብለን ከጨመርነው ይሄን statement ምን እያልኩኝ ነው? ድሮ ልጅ እያለሁኝ ረጅም ሰዓት መዋኘት እችል ነበር እያልኩኝ ነው ማለት ነው. So I'm talking about something I used to do when I was young or in the past. So used to do የሚለው ጋር okay? Used to be able to. አሁን ይሄንን የምንጠቀመው ለምሳሌ ለምንድን ነው? I used to read lots of books when I was young. So I'm talking about something ድሮ የማደርገው ነገር. So the same thing goes for could. You can use could to talk about something ድሮ የምታደርጉትን ነገር, okay? ድሮ መስራት የምትችሉትን ነገር ሊሆን ይችላል ወይ ማድረግ የምትችሉትን ነገር ሊሆን ይችላል. You can use the word could. Let's see it in an example. Let me give you an example. So የመጀመሪያው example ለምሳሌ ልጅ እያለሁ በጣም ሮጥ በፍጥነት መሮጥ እችል ነበር ስንል how can we say that? When I was younger, I used to be able to run fast. Used to be able የምንለው አንድ expression ነው which means to talk about past abilities. ግን አሁን እዚህ ጋር used to be able የሚለውን we will replace it with the word could or with the helping verb could. So let me write it down for you guys. When I was younger, okay? So when I was younger ምንድነው? Something in the past happen ያደረገ ነገር ነው. So when I was younger, I could run very fast. ልጅ እያለሁ በጣም ሮጥ ነው like በፍጥነት መሮጥ እችል ነበር እያልኩኝ ነው. For example, let's say like ልጅ እያላችሁ ደግሞ ሌላ ብዙ አይነት ability ሊኖራችሁ ይችላል. So እሱን እናንተ comment section ላይ ጽፋላችሁ. Let me give you the other uses of could. that you can use. So the third use of could is to talk about possibilities. Okay, so possibilities የምንለው ከዚህ በፊት አይተነው ነበር like when we were talking about conditionals. So ስለ conditionals ስናወራ we've said that the second conditional tense to talk about something that is likely or possible to happen ብለን አይተን ነበር. So እዛኛው ላይ የምንጠቀመው helping verb could የሚለውን እንደነበር አይተን ነበር. So for example አሁን በኋላ ሊዘንብ ይችላል okay ሊዘንብ ይችላል ማለት ምን እያልኩኝ ነው I'm just saying it's possible to rain. So ሊፈጠር የሚችል ነገር እንደሆነ ወይም ደግሞ possible የሆነ ነገር መናገር ስትፈልጉ you can use the helping verb could. For example በእንግሊዘኛ እንዴት ነው የምንለው በኋላ ሊዘንብ ስለሚችል you should bring your umbrella ስንል ወይም ደግሞ ጃንጥላ ይዘህ ወይም ደግሞ ጃኬት ደርበሽ ውጪ okay so you're giving like someone that it's possible to rain outside or ደግሞ let's say it's going to be very sunny outside ወይም ደግሞ በጣም ሞቃታማ ወይ በጣም ፀሐያማ ሊሆን ስለሚችል you should bring your umbrella. So what am I saying? I'm just referring that it's possible to rain, it's possible to be very sunny outside, so I'm just giving possibility. So ይሄኛው conditionals ጋር okay we've talked about possibilities when we were talking about conditionals. So ስለ conditional የተሰራም ቪዲዮ ስላለ you can just go with touch and like check ማድረግ ትችላላችሁ. So let me give you an example. So አሁን በነገርኳችሁ example መሰረት ለምሳሌ what did I say now? It could rain later. So ምን ማድረግ አለብኝ so you might want to bring an umbrella. An umbrella. So I'm not saying it will rain for sure, but I'm just saying it's possible to rain later. So it's better to bring my umbrella ወይም ደግሞ ጃንጥላዬን ይዤ ብወጣ it's much better. So I'm just talking about possibilities. So usually weather forecasters ወይም ደግሞ like ምንድነው like አየር ንብረትን የሚመዘገቡ ሰዎች they use the word could because they're talking about possibilities. So you can use እስካሁን ብቻ ባየነው uses. The first one is for polite request. The second one is to talk about ability in the past. The third one is to talk about possibilities. So polite request ላይ make sure to add please, the word please. Okay? እባክዎን ወይም እባክሽን እያለ ነው. So could you lend me your pen please? I'm asking someone in a polite way so that they can give me their pen. The second one to talk about ability in the past. So like I've told you, used to be able is also the same expression as could. But you can use could interchangeably, and we said could is also rasun yechale and modal verb now, and also it's the past tense of can. So you can use could in 3 main ways, and there's also another use, so I'll be back. Let me tell you the fourth use of could. So አራተኛው ደግሞ መጠቀም የምትችሉበት to talk about suggestions or to give out suggestions, okay? Suggestion ለመስጠት መጠቀም ትችላላችሁ. So what I mean by suggestions, for example, you might see your friends struggling with their computer, okay? So like computerාቸው አልሰራ ብሏቸው maybe struggle ያደርጉ ሊሆን ይችላል. So how can you just give them a suggestion? Maybe you could say restart አድርገውና ሞክረው እስኪ, which means it might work again if you restart it. So I'm just giving out like a suggestion. It's like አስተያየት ለመስጠትም እንጠቀመዋለን couldn't. So like I've told you the example አሁን የነገርኳችሁን example. So maybe let's say you could restart your computer if it's not working. So ምን እያደረኩ ነው? I'm giving off my suggestion or አስተያየት እየተናገርኩ ነው okay? So አስተያየትን እየተናገርኩ ለምሳሌ ስልክም ሊሆን ይችላል. You could restart your phone so that it will work again. It might not work again, but like I'm just suggesting ወይ ደግሞ ያለኝን አስተያየት እያቀረብኩ ነው ማለት ነው. So when you want to talk about suggestions, you can use the auxiliary verb could, okay? So we have seen 4 uses of could እስካሁን ድረስ. ሌላኛው ዩዙ ደግሞ የcould it's like mainly speaking ላይ ነው የምንጠቀመው. So ለምሳሌ አንድ ነገር okay አንድ እድል እንዳመለጣችሁ or አንድ opportunity miss ስታደርጉ. So how can we use it to talk about missed opportunities? missed opportunities. So this might be not common, or like especially like ትምህርት ቤት ምናምን ነገር maybe they might have not teach you about this, but the other use of could is to talk about missed opportunities. When I say about missed opportunities, okay, not to make it confused እንዳያደርጋችሁ, let me tell you. ለምሳሌ የሆነ የስራ እድል ነበር ወይም ደግሞ like let's say you had the talent to sing but you didn't like pursue it, ወይም ደግሞ like እሱ ነገር ለማሳካት you just like in a way you weren't interested enough, or maybe like you didn't want to do it, so you're talking about missed opportunity. okay, ያመለጣችሁ ድል። so ለምሳሌ ለሰው ቁጭ ብላችሁ ያወራችሁ I could have been one of the best singers by now, meaning አሁን ላይ I could try again of course, but like I'm talking about missed opportunities. okay, ያመለጠኝን እድል እያወራ ነው። ለምሳሌ ደግሞ let me say let's say you used to dance when you were young, so you might have that talent. okay, ያን talent ኖሯችሁ ግን ደግሞ just like you didn't want to pursue it, like I've told you. so how can you say that? I could have been one of the best dancers. okay, meaning ያን ነገር ሞር በሰራበት ኖሮ በደንብ ዳንሰር ነበር፣ በደንብ ዘፋኝ ነበር። or ደግሞ I could have been the best author. okay, so you're talking about missed opportunity. ላለፈ አጋጣሚ ወይም ላለፈ እድላችሁ መናገር ስትፈልጉ you can use it. for example, so ለምሳሌ like ዘፈን የምትሞካክሩ ሰው ሆናችሁ but like አሁን ላይ you just didn't want to practice more and then just stopped. so you're just talking with your friend casually and you can just say I could have been a professional singer if I had practiced more, meaning በደንብ practice ባደርግ ኖሮ by now like በደንብ ጎበዝ ዘፋኝ እሆን ነበር እያላችሁ ነው። so you're talking about missed opportunities. so let me write it down for you guys. I could have been, አሁን እዚህ ጋር ምን ጨምራለኝ? have የምትለዋን። okay, so I could have been I could have been a professional singer አሁንም if conditional. okay, I'm just like talking about something I missed. It could sound like a regret, or I'm just like referring to something that I should have done, or something like I could have done. so if I could have been a professional singer if I had practiced more. if I had practiced more. or you can say she could have been, okay, she could have been one of the best dancers if she didn't quit. so ባታቆም ኖሮ በጣም ጎበዝ ዳንሰር ትሆን ነበር እያለን we're just talking about missed opportunity. so እስካሁን we've said about could, it's like the past tense of can, and also it's like an auxiliary verb or a modal verb by itself. so it has multiple uses. አምስቱን ጥቅሞች ነገራችሁ ነበር። የመጀመሪያው for polite request, for possibilities, abilities in the past, and also missed opportunities. ከዛ የመጨረሻው ደግሞ to talk about suggestions. now let's exercise it more with examples so that it will be more clear for you guys. okay, so now I am back with different examples. okay, these are like real life sentences you can use with your friends, or it could be with your like family members. so ለምሳሌ የመጀመሪያውን example ካያችሁ I used to be able to swim. so አሁን ምን እያወራሁኝ ነው? I'm talking about ability in the past, right? so what of the use of could? ability in the past ብለን አይተን ነበረ። so how can I use could in this statement? maybe I can start with ለምሳሌ at one time. okay, at one time meaning maybe like when I was younger. so at one time I could swim. okay, so I'm talking about something I was able to do in the past. I hope it's clear for you guys. let's go to the second one. ለምሳሌ here asking someone to speak more slowly. for example, when I'm teaching you guys, if I'm like a bit fast for you guys, so how can you say, could you go or could you be more slow please? Meaning you're asking me in a polite way. So to ask in a polite way, polite request. Because we've said that we can use could to talk about or polite request. And so in a polite way, መጠየቅ ስንፈልግ እንጠቀማለን ብያችሁ ነበር. So ለምሳሌ how can I use could in this statement? Asking someone to speak slowly, like ማቀየር ትችላላችሁ. ለምሳሌ please could you speak more slowly please, or demo like you can use please in መጀመሪያ ላይ መጠቀም ትችላላችሁ, or demo could you please, okay? That's like based on your preference. እናንተ እንደመረጣችሁት መሃል ላይም ፊት ለፊትም መጨረሻ ላይም ከታችሁ መጠቀም ትችላላችሁ. So ለምሳሌ let me use it መሃል ላይ could you please speak more slow, okay? Could you please speak more slow? ቀስብለሽ, okay? ከዚህ በላይ ቀስብለሽ ማውራት ትችያለሽ ወይ ያልኩኝ ነው. So I'm asking someone in a polite way. Let's go to the third example. As you guys can read here, tell someone they are capable of singing. They are capable of singing. So ምን እያደረኩኝ ነው? I am telling them they have the talent, okay? So ያንን ችሎታቸው እንዳለ, or ደግሞ I'm like giving off. What am I giving here? So tell someone they are capable of singing. It could be capable of writing. So ለምሳሌ አንድ ሰው ስለ ራሳቸው ስቶሪ ነግረውኝ, you know, you could write a story out of your own story, I'm saying, or I'm giving off my own suggestions. Ability እንዳላቸው ወይም ችሎታ እንዳላቸው ስለሚያደርጉት ነገር more ችሎታ እንዳላቸው እየተናገርኩኝ ነው. So I'm giving off I just want to check here. Yeah, sorry. So what are you guys doing here? You're like encouraging them. ወይም ደግሞ you're telling them they have like talent on that. So you're encouraging them, giving encouragement, okay? ወይም suggestion እየሰጣችሁ ነው. So ለምሳሌ you know you could, okay? You know you could sing, let's say beautifully. በቆንጆ ሁኔታ መስፈን እንደምትችይ ግን do you know it? Okay? I'm saying do you know it? ታውቂዋለሽ ወይም ታውቀዋለህ ወይ ያልኩኝ ነው. So I'm telling her or him to focus on singing more because I believe they have the talent for it ማለት ነው. So የመጨረሻው example ደግሞ የምናየው like I've told you missed opportunities ቅድም እንዳየነው ማለት ነው. missed opportunities ለምሳሌ let's say የሆነ የስራ እድል ነበረ and then like በሆነ አጋጣሚ just ሳገቡ ቀራችሁ. So like let's say your friend እዛ መስራት ጀመረ እና like ምን እያላችሁ ነው? You know, I could have been working the same job as you if I had accepted that work like የተሰጣችሁን ኦኬ የቀረበላችሁን ኦፈር ቢቀበል ኖሮ እኔም አብሬ ይሰራ ነበር እዛ ድርጅት እያልኩኝ ነው ማለት. So I'm talking about missed opportunities. So I hope it's clear for you. አሁን ደግሞ I will tell you different ways to say, like especially conversation ላይ ማለት ያለብንና ማለት የሌለብን, okay, related to could. We will see it. Okay, this is going to be our last point. የመጨረሻ ፖይንታችን ይሄ ነው. So የመጀመሪያው could have ነው. So this is like you can say it in a like በንግግር ላይ መጠቀም ትችላላችሁ, writing ላይ መጠቀም ትችላላችሁ. This is the correct way of saying could have. ይሄ ደግሞ ያው the short form of could have ነው with the apostrophe የተጻፈው. So writing ላይ you can say could have with the apostrophe here. Let's see this. Could have. You might heard native speakers saying I could have done this and maybe, okay, it might be weird for you ለብን like could have ብለን እኛ like እርግጥ አድርገን ነው የምናነበው, but they just use it in a more abbreviated way. So this is also correct way of saying it. But if you say could have, okay, could have የሚሉ ሰው ስለማይኖር it's like completely wrong. So don't say could have. We don't say could with the preposition of. So this is wrong. If you use this, don't use this. I hope የዛሬው ክላሳችን it was really clear for you guys. If you like it, make sure to give it thumbs up. So እንግሊዘኛም ፈረንሳይኛም በአካልም በኦንላይንም መማር ከፈለጋችሁ መደወል ትችላላችሁ. And don't forget to subscribe guys. Bye guys.